Hey, I'm Kade. I'm 21 years old, I'm a trans guy, and I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's really actually pretty accepting here. I feel like people have this misconception where we're like exclusively Mormons and everything, but I mean, we're not. Some stuff that I like to do, I like to go on drives up the mountain, I like to play music, I like to cook food, I like to throw parties. I'm one of the few people that kind of enjoys going to school. I like homework. Sort of. I mean, sometimes I hate it. I mean, math gets pretty old after a while, but I mean, yeah. I've like known that I'm trans since I was 15. It's been 6 years. I came out, I think it was in March. I came out to my parents in March, right when I knew that I was going to start taking tea. So I didn't start taking tea until July, almost August, but July 25th, and they were really accepting. I mean, this face that I make, it's more like it was nerve-wracking and everything. And before I was just out as gay, and like I've had a girlfriend for 4 years, and she's awesome. She's the best. She really is so great, so smart, so funny, so cool, so just, she's everything that's awesome. And so they knew her, they love her, like they thought we were just gay. She's known since I met her, and basically everybody in high school knew that I was trans, so I feel kind of bad about not really telling my parents that, hey, like, I'm not just gay, like, I'm trans, so, like, so there's that. Coming out can be difficult. You're sharing a lot about yourself with some people and you're not really sure how they're going to react, but I mean, it's just kind of scary. Things worked out for me. I'm totally happy to talk to people about it if they're like worried about coming out. It's just it's important, but it's kind of just, you know. Anyway, for an introduction video, this is my dog. There. I promise he's not dead. He just feels like I'm neglecting him. So I've got to go take him on a walk pretty soon here. Yeah. So I think that this is important and I want to be able to do it. It's just like, I don't know what to talk about. I'm pretty shy. So yeah. I think that Laverne Cox is an awesome spokeswoman for our community. It's so like, she's so smart. I mean, she just like covers everything. She's one of my heroes, and I think that she's kind of like the queen of trans people. So yeah. I like to bike. I like movies. I mean, like things that people like, I think that I like them. So I already said that like my family and we live in Salt Lake. I'm currently at my parents' house. I have been here for like a week. I moved out first when I was 18, and it's kind of weird just to be back. Nobody's here right now or anything, and it's just kind of awkward. In a couple of weeks I will get my own place and that will be better, but I don't make enough money, so that's basically what's happened. We live in Salt Lake. I was raised Mormon, which, I mean, that was difficult for me. I had a lot of questions growing up. I mean, I've always been like tomboy, whatever. Yeah. So I figured that maybe it would be easier to understand what I was talking about if I showed a picture of my family. So this is my family. Hope that's not too bad. That's obviously me, and those are my siblings, and that's my parents. So we were raised Mormon, and I mean, I was always kind of the odd one out. I was a tomboy. I mean, I feel like I've known that I was supposed to be a boy since I was 5. At 15, like tons of body changes happen and everything. So I was huge up here. Like it was horrible. It was like, I forget the size. And honestly, I think that's a good thing because I swear it was like, a triple D doesn't exist, but I was bigger than a bra that you can find in like a market. I had surgery I had a reduction, just a reduction. I'm now a B cup, which I'm kind of upset about, but we'll get into that in a minute. After that reduction, I had come out of as gay before, but I mean, I don't know if I really thought that I was gay. That's kind of how I met my first trans person, which was awesome. There's this place here, it's called The Tint, or it was, I think it's just a Utah Pride Center youth activity group, which is really important. There's a ton of homeless youth here who happen to be queer, and it was a great experience for me at 15 and 16 until I was like 19, going there and just, I mean, connecting with people that were like me. That was awesome. That was one of the best part of my life. So about it, like in the first year of going there, that's when I had my surgery, and it was great. I lost like 50 pounds. I mean, I was pretty overweight. I don't want to really show a picture of that at all. It's causes a lot of dysphoria for me, but yeah, so I had that surgery. I should have just gotten them chopped off completely, but the surgeon like wouldn't let me do that because then I wouldn't be able to breastfeed. I don't know how true that is. I mean, I figured that it would be true, but it just didn't happen. Whatever, I'm over it. No, I'm not, but I mean, you know. So that made me a significantly happier person. I'm now able to bind a lot easier. I have some pain, I guess, like in my ribs just from binding too much when I was that big. I would wear a compression shirt, which is basically like one of those binders from Underworks, the like long ones that go into your pants and everything. So I would wear that. I would wear 2 sports bras, and sometimes I would wrap around an ace bandage. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. It's such a bad idea. There are cheap binders out there. There are ways to make them for yourself out of stretchy, appropriate material so that you won't have respiratory problems like I do. And so, like, just don't do it. It's a bad idea. It hurts. And I mean, I felt like it was worth it at the time. I definitely don't feel like that now. Don't do that. Not condoned. After that surgery and coming out as gay and everything, I had my first girlfriend. It lasted like 3 months. It was pretty good. I mean, like, I was happy. It was just kind of like new experiences. That was cool. I had a whole bunch of friends there, and one was a trans guy. Another one actually came out right after I did as being trans, which was awesome. We kind of just like bonded hardcore with that. And I haven't really talked to him for like 2 years. I've been extremely busy. Stuff has happened. I've moved out like when I was 18. That was 2 years after I met him. And then that's when we kind of stopped talking. That's basically the early part of coming out and everything. Other stuff later on, everybody just kind of knew I was like gay or queer or whatever. I'm not really sure what they thought, but nobody was really surprised when I came out as being trans. I mean, I dressed in boys' clothes when I was like 3. My parents thought I was going to be a boy, and so all I really had were boy clothes, and that was really good, I think. Yeah. So I think this is a good first video. I am sorry if it's super long. I will edit it. I'll make sure that it's interesting. Yeah. So thank you for listening. And yeah, so that's me.